Everyone's dream is to create the ideal layout in their bathroom, but to be honest, I don't believe there is an ideal layout because it's such a personal choice. It's how you want to live in the space. How do you want to function? Is it an ensuite for 2 people? Is it a main bathroom for 3 kids? What is the space? So you've got to work out what you want to do in that space to achieve your ideal.
Yeah.
I would say there are a couple of watch outs. You want to have a feature. So in every bathroom space, there is the main feature. It could be your bath under a beautiful window.
Yeah, Bonnie loves to call it the wow moment.
The wow moment. It could be your vanity, or it could be a double shower. There's something that is your wow moment, and everything else falls off the back of that. You don't want to open your door and look at your toilet. That's one thing we like to hide the toilet.
Yeah, hide the toilet. And I think also is, we've always said this, that renovating is about compromise, in that you can't have it all. And usually, depending on the shape you're working with or the size of the bathroom, you have to do the best you can with that layout in that space.
Yes.
You're probably not going to be able to tick every single box, and that's where you need to prioritise. Is the length of your vanity more important than the size of your bath, for example? You need to make all those choices. And I think the other thing to remember is don't cram too much into one space. Don't go for the longest bath with the longest vanity wedged up against each other. You need to have a little bit of space. Air space makes something feel bigger rather than smaller.
A bathroom is a really personal space. When designing these bathroom spaces, we like to go very old school to start with, and it is just pencil on paper.
Yeah.
It is sketching it up. It is coming up with different layouts.
Yeah.
Then I like to throw in the measurements.
Yeah, well, doing it to scale is important. There's nothing worse than someone drawing up a floor plan and they think, this is fabulous. And you're like, is that to scale? They're like, oh no, none of that fits.
No, Bonnie's done that before.
Totally. And then often we'll take those hand drawings and put them into a program like SketchUp, or we've also used the Reese Bathroom Planner, which is fantastic. It gives you a real 3D look at how everything's fitting together. But because bathrooms are such permanent fixtures that you're putting in, you need to get all your measurements right, because you can't just finesse it later like you can cushions or a lounge.
No.
These things are in place.
And then the final thing you're going to have to do is get into that space where your bathroom's going to be and map it out, whether it be masking tape or pretend layouts, pretend something's the toilet, something's the bath. It is better than on paper.
Yep, physically mark it out and just check the distances from the toilet to the shower and things like that. Nothing beats a physical mock-up.
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake I see people make in bathroom spaces is not leaving enough space to walk through. So your thoroughfare and putting oversized pieces in a small space. So, everyone wants a big, large shower, but not every space can accommodate it.
Yeah.
Or the double vanity when you've really only got size for one.
Yeah, and I mean, I totally agree with that, Ez. And also, people get stuck into thinking this is just how it has to be done and not thinking about themselves. For example, a lot of people think in an ensuite, I must have a his and hers basin and a his and hers mirror, because that's what you see a lot these days. But if you actually need more bench space, you might want to choose for one basin in the middle, and you have bench space on either side. The point is you can do whatever suits you best. Don't just be a slave to what you've seen everyone else doing, and really think about how you and your partner or your family use the space.
Oh, it's super important to start planning your bathroom renovation early. It comes down to basically budget, and I'd say also product availability, because if you start researching all these products you want and then you get really close to the mark and then you're ready to go and they're out of stock.
Or they're 12 weeks lead time.
12-week lead time. Yeah, so knowing what you want, checking it's in stock, working out your budget, you've got to do it well before you're ready to start.
And that's also because, as you know, when we're trying to get accurate quotes from our trades, they'll say, well, what tile are you putting here? Because if it's a little tile, that might be more expensive.
Yes.
And then the tiler and the plumber and the builder all need to get together and discuss, well, how are we getting the floor right here? And does it have a fall? And where's the plumbing going? And that all impacts the quotes.
It does.
So if you don't have that up front, you're going to get sort of average quotes. And then at the end of the day, you'll get an invoice, which is quite different to the original quote.
Oh, yeah. There's quite a few little stages to a bathroom renovation, each as important as each other.
Yeah.
So we'll start with demo. So you've got to take down your wall linings, pull up your floor. Big watch out there is asbestos. Like a lot of pre-1985 bathrooms, there is asbestos in that. Very simple to get rid of, but you just got to do it the right way. Do your research on that one. Once you've demoed everything, you're then looking at roughing everything in. All the pipes. You've got your plumber. He'll come in and put in all of the tapware, everything like that.
And something really important there is getting everything at the right height.
100%.
You don't want to be changing the height of your showers or your taps after roughing. This is the time to get it right.
Yeah. So pre-demo, you need all your bits and pieces on site, all your fixtures, all your fittings, everything ready to go. What you'll also need is your tiles. So once you've done your roughing, you then have your floor preparations and your wall preparations. So you'll have your villa board going on the walls and you have your subfloor going down. Now there's a variety of different subfloors. Your builder, your tiler, they'll work that one out for you. So once you've got everything in place there, you get to start making it look pretty. You have floor tiles, you'll have wall tiles, you might put cladding on your walls if you're not tiling to the ceiling, you will have gyprock on the ceiling, you may have cornice, you may not.
Yeah.
So once you get all those wall linings on, beautiful, then the second last stage is fit out. And that is where we get to see things come to life. So we have tapware, we might have a vanity, we'll have a mirror, a bath, your shower screen, all the bits and pieces. The final stage is styling.
Oh, I thought you weren't going to mention styling here. No, really important because a bathroom needs to be styled too, and it can just make all the difference in the world to put in some really nice fresh new towels, some nice hand soaps. Those things make a real difference, and some greenery too. Well, lighting in a bathroom is so important because, you know, it's where you're often looking up close at yourself and you might be doing makeup or, you know, for a man shaving or what have you. So you want good lighting.
I think you do. I think it's really important to have really good lighting. Natural light is the optimal. Yeah. If you can get natural light, I'm in a bathroom with natural light from two sides. That's the best. It is.
I mean, I'd love natural light right in front of me, but I also want a mirror right in front of me.
Yes. So well, that's what I'm designing in my home.
Yeah.
Is a window with a mirror, and you have both. Oh, just as a side
there
light.
You go. But yeah, anyway. Definitely light coming in there versus maybe just behind you. It's best coming in. But in the absence of that, or if you're in there at night, certainly you want some really good downlights for your makeup. Yes. Ideally, and you've seen all the Hollywood movies, those old bulbs around the lights, that's to shine it right on your face. But the other thing to think about is your bathroom is also for a mood moment, particularly if you're winding down at the end of the day to go to bed. I love to just turn on one of my dimmest lights in there, just for mood lighting. I don't want it bright at 11 o'clock when I'm showering before I go to bed. I actually want it really dim. So think about that too.
Winding down. It's super important to go in store and check out the products that you're interested in. You know, there's brilliant tools online to have a look and gather and understand what you're after, but seeing them and touching them and feeling them, and the assistance that the Reece staff offer is outstanding. You know, you might think you're going with something else pops up that takes your fancy. Yeah. It's really important to go in store.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll always learn something new in store. You know, I thought I knew everything about a product, and then as you said, the Reece assistants are fantastic, and they say, oh, but did you know this is living brass, and this is what's going to happen over time, and then my mind is always blown. I'm like, wow, we've got to have that in the house.
Well, I think the best way to save money when you're designing a bathroom or renovating it is to keep your fixtures and fittings in the same spot. It is the easiest way to, you know, you cut down your plumbing bill immensely by not moving anything. You decrease the risk of, you know, unforeseen issues with moving pipes and whatnot. So I think that's what I'd rate as the biggest.
But you might therefore be compromising on your ideal layout, and that's what you're always having to weigh up: budget versus, you know, the results. And the other one, as I know we've come across, is that often you won't be able to afford, if you're on a tight budget, to lower the floor for a flush finish with the hallway. You'll just have to work with what you've got, and that might mean tiling and building up a bit of a step up like that from the outside room into the bathroom. But that's fine. We've done it so many times. It's never decreased the value of a house we've sold. But if you're wanting that real luxury finish, probably a flush finish would be even better.
So to execute a bathroom renovation, you do actually need quite a number of different trades. Some of them can overlap if they're skilled in that area, but you will need a plumber, you will need an electrician, you will need a gyprocker, you will need a tiler, and you will need a painter.
Yeah,
that's really where we're
and
at.
They all need to be licensed, because particularly in a bathroom, the last thing you want is after it's all been done, you find out that the waterproofing wasn't done well, and the tiler didn't do a very good job, and then you've got to rip it all up.
And quite often you will get an independent waterproofer. Not every tiler does waterproof, so you know you just have to make sure they have the correct license. But that is a flaw that you can double up on.
And make sure you get all the certificates at the end of the job to say that they've done the job correctly, because then you can have them in your drawer, and if anything ever does go wrong, you can pull them out and hold them accountable.
Yep. Or you can engage a builder, and the builder will engage all of those trades for you. The way you communicate with your trades is super important. The first thing to remember is that you guys are a team. You're working together. They're not just working for you. You guys are working with a common goal to achieve this beautiful renovation. So really clear communication, a really detailed scope of work, some really clear objectives about what you want to achieve and the finished look. All about communication with the trades.
It is, and having stuff written down so that there's no miscommunication of, oh, I thought you said this, but no, you can just pull out the document and say, no, you see, I did specify a strip drain, for example. So written is really important, and then just, make sure that you get 3 quotes for everything, so that you can really understand what things cost and have constructive conversations with someone who's coming maybe a bit higher. You can say, well, how come I've got these a bit lower? And they might point out, actually, those guys are going to take 3 months longer than I was going to take. And you realise, well, I wanted a faster job, so I'll go with you. And it's also great is that Reece provide all of the product spec sheets, specification sheets that have all of the details down to the millimetre of each tap and each bath to just hand over to the trades. So that there can be, again, no excuses for, oh, I didn't know that was the size of the tap you were choosing. It's like, I gave you the spec sheets.
Yeah, here you go.
It's up to you to install correctly.
That's it. I mean, the best place I find to find really good trades is word of mouth. It is speaking to people in your community, in your network, in your family, find out who they've used, who they're happy with. That is the best place to go to for trades.